SmallRig 1859 microphone shock mount. Let's unbox this. You get some extra rubber band rings, and then this looks like an adapter for a cold shoe. Yep, you have that like mic to cold shoe adapter. And this is all plastic. Yeah, no metal components besides that screw. Pretty lightweight. And the rubber bands are already installed. So all I wanted to do was a quick test to compare this to my other mic holders, shock mount holders. I've used these three over the many years of me doing audio. At one point, I was a sound person for short films and for documentaries. I was just doing sound. I was the on-location sound mixer for low budget productions because I didn't have that much experience. I just had some gear and I knew a little bit about sound. This one is from Rode, and I probably had this one the longest. And when I first got into sound, Rode was cheap back then and it's affordable now. This was their shock mount that came with a lot of their mics whenever you got it. And this one has a built-in cold shoe right there. That looks like a 3/8. It's a mix of plastic parts and metal, like that cold shoe's metal. And this was good. This lasted a while. And then I got this one from Pierstone. I don't know if Pierstone is still around, but they had a slightly different design here. This one was also plastic. Yeah, you had another cold shoe, not as fitting as this cold shoe on the Rode, but I believe that's the same size as a standard cold shoe, and a 3/8. Yep. With this one, I don't know if you can see the detail here, but the rubber bands are very close to breaking. When I got this, it also came with extra rubber bands. I don't know where they are though, because I haven't used this in a while. And my latest purchase for shock mounts is this one by Rycote. This one came in a dual set, so I have another one of these. And this one doesn't have a cold shoe, and it's all plastic, but this one feels like a better build. And you can tell here, it's not this rubber band system. Rycote has their own design like this. So the big test with all these is to just see what it looks like and if it can hold the holy grail of all shotgun microphones, the Sennheiser MKH416. There are other ones that are bigger, longer, thicker, but the Sennheiser MKH416 is a shotgun microphone I compare to all other shotgun microphones for size, for sound, for everything. So I'm just gonna show what it looks like in all of these mounts here. As you can see here, the problem with the Rode and just this design in general, and I'll be curious to see if the SmallRig suffers from the same thing, is that because it's like this, you can see the mic drooping down a little bit. And if you have an even longer shotgun microphone or a heavier one, it'll sink down lower. So it's not exactly straight. You can even see from this angle, it's already dipped. But it holds it well. It's never slipped out when I've used it. And obviously there's gonna be an XLR coming out here, so that also helps it secured. And then I usually have a windscreen, sometimes a larger windscreen. Yep, that one works for the Rode. For the Pierstone, I like this one a lot better because it felt more secure, except for the fact that these rubber bands might break during this video. So this one here, if you could find a shock mount with this design, this is better because as you can see, it holds it more centered. And then moving it around, in my opinion, it was, when I've used it in the past, it was the same shock resistant, handling noise resistance from the Rode. And then the Rycote here, this one is a little different. Might be a little harder to pop in, but you put it in like this. And it doesn't hold it like the other rubber bands do, but this is, to me, a lot more secure. And there's no dip at all in this one. So this could also probably hold a longer, heavier microphone and not dip. And when I've used this, the handling noise, just as good. I wouldn't say it's a huge upgrade, but this has been the latest shock mount I've used for whenever I do sound. And then now let's test the much cheaper SmallRig. I don't think it matters which way it goes. People might have a preference of having the knob always on the right or always on the left. Okay, this slips in, and okay, there you go. This still droops a little bit, but because I just unboxed this and I think these rubber bands are as stiff as they'll ever be, it is holding it straighter than the Rode. So maybe this design is all dependent on how old and how used those rubber bands are. Yeah, this feels just as good as the other ones. Just as light as well. Maybe even lighter, because this looks like it weighs more, but this plastic is a lot thinner than the other ones. Ooh, okay, so the knob here isn't as tight. In fact, this base, this connection, it feels a lot looser than these other three. Looser in a bad way. Yeah, this is all plastic here, this connection, and it takes a lot more work to hold it steady. Not sure if I'm going to recommend the SmallRig over these other three, but these other three cost way more than the SmallRig. So if price is your main concern and you're not going to put this on a boom pole and run around with it, you're just going to keep it on a stand or on a camera and not move the camera, this is good for the price. And if you have a smaller mic, like this is the premium heavy industry standard mic. There are other shotgun microphones that are lighter and smaller. So for the price, I think the SmallRig shock mount is good, but compared to these three, and if you're doing a lot of boom, holding the boom with proper expensive microphones, I would look at these three. And these three aren't even the industry standard, I would say. If you talk to a real sound person, they have much better, more expensive shock mounts than these three. They might still use the MK416, but as far as the shock mount and the other accessories and peripherals, they'll probably have some stuff way more expensive than this.